Time for your daily dose of automotive news. Grab your coffee, tea, or whatever snack gets you going, and let's dive into what's driving the world today.
Why can't Americans buy the internet's favorite cheap EV? Today we pull the curtain. In this episode, we'll follow the money, the law, and the data, and why all three slam the door at the border. First, the 100% tariff on China-built EVs. What it actually does to the sticker, the finance, and your monthly. Then the new rulebook for connected vehicles. Who builds the sensors, who writes the code, and where the data goes. If the software isn't compliant, the price doesn't matter. We'll also tackle the Mexico mirage people keep posting about, what USMCA really requires, and why assembled nearby isn't the same as eligible in the US. Finally, a clean hypothetical. Could a Seagull-style car be built here with a compliant stack and a friendly battery supply chain? Short answer, maybe. Long answer, it's complicated. Let's start with the tariff math and watch that viral 8K screenshot evaporate in real time. Here's the American reality in plain English. Chinese-built EVs currently face a 100% tariff coming into the United States. Not high, not tough, 100%. On top of that, certain components and batteries carry their own duties. Meanwhile, Washington has been building a new rulebook for connected vehicles, hardware and software with national security implications, scrutinizing where data flows and who gets to build the sensors, cameras, and code that talk to the cloud. Put those together, and you get a locked door. What about Mexico? You might have seen the Seagull there as the Dolphin Mini, with pricing that makes sense for Mexico. That doesn't create a loophole into Texas. Trade agreements like USMCA police content origin, and the connected vehicle scrutiny follows the digital supply chain, not just the final assembly stamp. Reports claim BYD paused or slowed big factory ambitions in Mexico during 2025 while the US shifts the rulebook. Whether that's a brief pause or a strategic pivot is unverified. Useful takeaway: there's no short path. If someone says give it a month, smile and ask for a VIN, built in North America, and an EPA sticker. Until those exist, it's a PowerPoint, not a product. Could policy change? Of course. Policy moves in jumps, not steps. One revision in the Federal Register can shift pricing more than a bigger battery ever will. But treating that as scheduled is how people end up disappointed. For now, assume the door stays shut, and shop accordingly. Which raises the fun hypothetical speculation. Suppose BYD stood up a North American plant, built a US-compliant connectivity stack, and sourced batteries from a friendly supply chain. Could a Seagull-like car undercut mainstream EVs on price? Possibly. Skeletal overhead, ruthless cost control, and a simple product brief add up. But that future depends on three non-trivial things: stable policy, a localized and compliant software-hardware stack, and volume high enough to keep per-unit costs down. Until you see steel in the ground and a pilot line spitting VINs, this is a thought experiment. Treat any ET launches next quarter rumor as entertainment. Speculation: you'll hear rumors about sodium-ion packs arriving in tiny EVs to cut cost further. Interesting and technically plausible, especially for short-range models where energy density isn't king. But unless a North American-built version ships with it, that's a lab story, not a driveway story. Good to watch, not a reason to delay buying a car you need now. So what does a practical shopper actually do this year? For US viewers, the Seagull Dolphin Surf is the best blueprint you can't buy. It proves a small EV can be pleasant and useful without being expensive. It proves rotating screens can solve interface headaches instead of causing them. It proves you can get lane keep and smart cruise without climbing 5 trims. And it proves that weight and honesty beat vanity range for city life. If you want that vibe now, shop the field you can actually play on. A CPO Nissan Leaf covers honest commuting for less than most think. Batteries are known quantities and city range is more than enough if you charge at home. If you want modern safety, a roomier cabin, and better highway manners without going premium, hunt remaining Chevy Bolt EUV deals or track where Equinox EV leases land as incentive shift. Kona Electric and Nero EV often undercut larger crossovers when promotions stack. If software updates and charging network simplicity matter, a Model 3 RWD sits in a different price class but remains a rational choice for long-term ownership, just not a cheap one. For UK-EU viewers, the Dolphin Surf is the thing it was dressed to be. It wins when the monthly undercuts prettier rivals. When finance flips, Renault 5 offers polish and charm. Citroën EC3 offers a clever value/range mix, and MG4 offers 5 seats and more space for roughly the same money. Don't chase RRP screenshots, chase the payment after grants. Small EVs trade podium spots every time a finance campaign resets. A few closing rules of thumb, so you don't get trapped in analysis. Buy for the week you live, not the road trip you post. If your week is 120 miles total and you can plug in at home, a small pack is freedom, not a limitation. Cost per mile RUD brochure range. Home rates plus efficiency beat. Bigger battery when most miles are local. Look for friction reductions. Rotating screens. Decent ADS at low trims. Cable storage under the floor. V2L. These are the features that matter on a Tuesday. Label speculation. Reports claim and rumors suggest are not facts. They're weather. Check again before you buy. Policy moves prices. One tariff tweak or connectivity rule can save or cost you more than any wheel option ever will. So where does that leave us? With a car that changes expectations even if it never changes lanes on an American interstate. It tells buyers it's okay to want simple, efficient, and thoughtfully equipped instead of heavy, expensive, and overpowered. It nudges rivals to stop pretending small EVs must be luxury priced. And it reminds everyone that the most disruptive idea in cars isn't always 1,000 horsepower. Sometimes it's a light, honest EV that makes the city feel smaller and your fuel bill feel boring. Everyone asks the same thing. What would have to change for a Seagull-style EV to actually land in the US? 3 signals. If you see these, the story just flipped. Signal 1. Manufacturing on this side of the border. Not rumor. Not a slide. A real plant announcement. Supplier contracts, hiring for battery and power electronics roles, and eventually a VIN that decodes to North America, proof the car is truly built here, not just shipped here. Until steel is in the ground, it's a wish list. Signal 2. A compliant software and data stack. Clear documentation on where vehicle data lives, who can access it, and how over-the-air updates are vetted. Think published partners for cameras, modems, maps, and an audit-friendly privacy policy. If the software isn't compliant, price doesn't matter. The door stays shut. Signal 3. A friendly battery supply chain. Local cell pack assembly or allied sourcing, with materials traced in a way that passes the rulebook. You'll see MOUs turn into real joint ventures, then into tooling, then into cells. When the chemistry, the minerals, and the paperwork align, monthly payments start making sense. So what would a US version look like? If those 3 line up, same small car mission, fewer mystery chips, a transparent connectivity stack, and a pack built close to where you'll drive it. The sticker won't be meme cheap, but the monthly could suddenly compete with mainstream compacts. That's when this stops being a border story and starts being a dealership story. How to watch without getting burned. Track facts, not vibes. Plants breaking ground, supplier lists, regulatory filings, and early fleets with North American VINs. If you only see teasers and influencer rides, nothing changed. When the 3 signals hit together, you'll know. Next steps, drop the signals you're seeing in the comments and tell me which one you think arrives first. Factory, software, or batteries. I'll pin the best updates and revisit this the moment any of the 3 goes from rumor to reality.